afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda. Off here to 2 vs 2 on the road to Kharkov. In the north, it is Jaeger von QHunter and Muno, we'll just call him Jaeger, fighting here for America, freedom, democracy. Forming up the 3rd Armored Division task with breaking through the German lines under command of Guard 2707 and Fuzziteufel, fighting for the Wehrmacht, both of them Germany, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the, let's just say Panzer. We got Recon Support and Urban Assault Company here for the Americans, with Williams bullets there, versus Jaeger Armor Encirclement. Hello. German Infantry, Jaeger Infantry, Storm Doctrine, and joint operations with Panzerfaust Infantry, Panzergrenadier, Sturmpanzer, and Panther bulletins. Note that Guards bulletins there, if they aren't for Panzerfaust, are specifically the experienced bulletins. But both American players have rapidly committed to doctrinal choices. They're both sort of on the aggressive end, more aggressive end of the scale. And of course, von QHunter also has artillery and some stuff to make his tank suffer. Whereas Muno is much more aggressively oriented with some late game artillery support as well, though air bombardment. Guard advancing in the south here. In the northwards, we got Fuzziteufel there with Grenadiers, MD-42s moving head for the fatherland there. Americans racing up. We got a very early mortar here for Muno, likely expecting to encounter swift German machine guns in position. He's just going to get ready to just begin bombarding them right away. That's definitely preparation there, and knowing what he's up against. Meanwhile, Jaeger there committing just to double rifle, but also double re-echelons. I mean, he has of course gone for urban assault, so it makes sense. I mean, it checks out since he's obviously going to get rifle grenades on at least one of them, probably both. In the south, Muno there finding out, of course, got modified down there further, making seem to feel for Guard just to defend and push forwards with either way. Direct bolt hit, for example, almost kills, the Grenadier squad. They're living in a very poor position. I mean, can't actually fight, and now Jaeger's going to compound this issue by checking for the north. It's alright, it's the Pioneers again. Early mortars, you can see, they can be surprisingly effective, very powerful. Even if they just don't kill anything, like the fact they can just, tear out most of the health of an infantry squad, they rapidly means it can't fight and has to retreat. So either way, the Guards can have to replace the losses and probably build a medic bunker pretty fast. He's going for sniper here, which is an interesting choice to say with a mortar about, but I guess that's his choice. He's losing the calf point here though, and Fuzziteufel will likely have to get to at least have any forces southwards. We're also going to mortar out here for Fuzziteufel, so again, at least got two players who sort of realizing, hang on, mortars are great. We're going to do this there for Fuzziteufel of the Panzerdivision. Granaden there for 34, they're moving ahead. Note that initially during the war was actually considered a heavy mortar in I think mid to late war. It's released on paper, but it was sort of still at times considered a heavy mortar, as a little fun fact there. Obviously sort of in actuality been replaced by the 120mm mortar as a heavy mortar, but sort of like just how they referred to it, it was a heavy mortar. So little fun fact there, little fun fact. The ramp cloak being wiped out, taking too much hit from the Pioneers and the Grenadiers. Good work then, the mortar being pushed back. So far it's landed fewer hits here than the American mortar, which is not landed any further. We got the sniper hanging about there. Counterattack here in the south of Guard, very slow though, very slow. Up north here, Rifle flying off there, but they're getting focused down and routed. So lots of tense action on this otherwise narrow map. In the south, Pioneers with sniper and MD-42 support, Grenadiers hanging back. They got more Grenadiers there for Guard. Muno there, yet to take up. Meanwhile for Jaeger, we got the Lieutenant, and there we go, Lieutenant as well there for Muno. So both players are committing to Lieutenant plays. Smoking down there from the mortar. Thumbs up there to Muno, an American player to use the mortar for smoke. That's actually pretty rare. Not super rare, but at least in my experience, it's sort of one of the rarer experiences. It's not like, no one ever uses it, but, most players tend not to. Snapping hit it. Oh, no, the Pathfinder's ambush. A nice play there by Muno, completely decimating Guard sniper, or killing it. Not decimating, that's a, full total kill there. Beautiful ambush there by Muno, though I'm sure Guard may not quite be able to appreciate that one. It's understandable, but there you go. I'll make good use there, good use. Certainly leaves Guard there without a sniper, probably just try and take it. Maybe go for some Panzer Grenadiers instead. And we do have the tech, very good. Double reactions there with rifle grenades. There's quite a few rifle grenades. We got Lieutenant up, push back the Grenadiers. More tech Grenadiers moving up, backed up. The MD-42, staying up and do defensive line here against Jaeger, who's pushing ahead there. Note that Jaeger has not gone for any mortars. He's obviously going to try and rely, I think, on the double rifle grenades to sort of do most of his arcing explosive works. Mortar moving out there, Lieutenant good to go there for Muno. We'll have to follow up with the next. We got an ambulance there, and we got an ambulance as well there for Jaeger. Both players more or less going for the synchronous ambulance. Lieutenant there pushed back in the north. That mortar is certainly proving a bit helpful though. It's again not doing a ton of damage as of yet, but any moment now it's going to happen. In the south here, Gart pushing ahead here. They'll cause on a heavy fire there from the rifleman and possibly over the mortar anytime soon there. Grenadiers holding up in the house here. More grenadiers there for Gart. No sign of Panzer Grenadiers. And there go Raffin's been playing at the machine gun nest. Doing some damage, but no kills there, fortunately for Fuzziteufel. Though less fortunate for Jaeger. Aggressive ambulance usage there by Muno. Nice to see. It means going to reinforce and heal at the front line. And we got another smoke screen off to set up there for assault there on Guard's positions. Thumbs up to Muno. He's definitely proving to be a rare specimen of an American player who wants to use his abilities and hides and doesn't just run his men into a machine gun, hoping that eventually the Germans will run out of bullets. Seems to be an awful lot of American players, to be honest. We got Sulating away there for Muno and the Americans. Turning in, they could try and set up some troops in the deeper flank for the southern field, so that way outmaneuver the German position. I mean, most players tend not to anticipate such a move, so it could be effective as his Guard, who's quickly finds himself forced to defend the Kharkov point, the fuel point here, as his lines are rapidly disintegrating. Up north here, Grenadiers being arrived right from Lieutenant, almost got the northern fuel point there, but it's going to take some more time. Mortar then needs to fall back. 2 men left. There we go. 1 kill, close to veteran to 1. Back here, like to make a nice company up. No sign of Panzer Grenadier. Take up down for Fuzziteufel, nothing further there. And still no doctrine from either Gart or Fuzziteufel here in service of Deutschland. Stuart as well here for Jaeger, so both players are committing to a light tank approach. And there we go, we got Panzer Grenadier out for Fuzziteufel. Versus the Stuarts, though, he may have to go for the Panzer Schrecks to disarm that threat very explosively. 2-2 on the way for Guard here, troops reinforcing. Do we see any weapon racks? 9. Stuart there, slowly approaching. Jaeger has suffered some casualties though versus the Germans. He's lost 1 reascent squad, so he's a bit short of that. Meanwhile, Muno has been able to maintain his infantry in part again due to the mortars, you know, hoping to push through any position there from Guard. Black machines with the Grenadiers. We got the Pioneers flank from the south. 2-2 also arriving here for the front line. Truppen struggling in there to the far forward in the Kharkov point as well. Good play there by Muno. Guard is definitely taking a thrashing here from Muno, and the armoured Fuzziteufel is having his time here with Jaeger north centre, but not too easy either. Stuart going straight for the 2-2. He's going to need more anti-tank weapons. He's also lost the Pioneers. Now, I mean, he has no repairing of the 2-2 or taking out for that matter. Jaeger committing here to a Ranger squad. Some more elite assault infantry. Fuzziteufel goes straight for Jaeger Infantry. Key for the fleet is considered to be helpful as the Americans in my experience, plus the Jaeger command squad is a very solid infantry unit. That leaves his Scout with a doctrine, Jaeger armor, Encirclement, German infantry. To the 2 doctrines certainly have a bit more in common. But with a lot of stormtroopers there being available. Jaeger armor, and particularly on this map, I'm not sure how it's going to be great, particularly also with the current situation. They need to push harder now rather than later. Fuzziteufel, they're going for the Jaeger command squad. He's probably got 5 infantry squads. One of them is the Panzer Jaeger squad. That's going to be his solution to the Stuart problem. Rather than around it, Panzer Jaeger's going to be moving out. Rangers moving ahead there, trying to hose down any German infantry in the way. Rockets flying, exploding on the ground. Lieutenant there. Grenadiers opening out the light machine support there. 2-2 halfway down there. One rifle off. Almost taking out the Lieutenant there. Go getting a wipe here on Muno. A small victory there for Guard in an otherwise slightly bleak series of events. Still, the Allies in control of both fuel points. They control most of the map. Victory points while the Germans are in the lead there. But even that could rapidly change if they're not cautious. Do any further take there for the Germans? 9. And Guard still remains without doctrine. And no greater battle plan here to defeat the armies. So as American gangsters. Jaeger command squad down to file. We got here airdrop combat group from Muno. Of course means an elite paratrooper squad, but also the pack howitzer, meaning he doubles his artillery allotment there from a mortar to a mortar and a pack howitzer, which is going to make it harder for Guard to defend, but also even to attack at times. So that's going to be quite a challenge there on top of the paratroopers, obviously. So they're taking a few hits here from the 2-2's autocannon, piercing the softer side armour. Even that's obviously not going to be stuff to put the 2-2 out of commission. Actual war might have been slightly different. You could sort of flank the still light tank and pierce it with the autocannon, but end game are not quite as impressive. Gonna be still flanking up here. Good play there by Fuzziteufel, moving in to back up his teammate, possibly realising or figuring an attack into the JäegerQhunter is going to be, you know, a fruitless task. Rather than that, he's trying to go support a push by Guard to reclaim the southern field, and that way make better progress. Since all of a sudden, if Muno then is forced to collapse, Jaeger's going to have to like respond, or they can risk, you know, that suddenly then Guard and Fuzziteufel commit to doubling up on him. So good play there, I would say, by Guard and Fuzziteufel. But again, particularly Fuzziteufel, I think, for realising again, just, you know, he could make much better progress, much more faster by shifting over to his teammate. Sometimes there's sort of decision making that has to be made during a team game. It's just not always you sort of consider it, and particularly you're not playing with an arranged teammate, in which case that can be sort of a bit tricky to sort of consider. Mortar there with 3 kills, close to 2, very good. Muno there's Mortar is at 2 kills. Pack-out is yet to be recruited, but I imagine that's going to happen anytime soon unless he dropped it for some reason too close to the Germans and they picked it up. Our way to notes there again. Now Fuzziteufel and Guard are attacking northwards again, basically. You know, once that's been cleared out, they can sort of focus on the other one, while at the same time they can sort of leave some force to defend here. So, again, good coordination with the Fuzziteufel Guard. Second steward down, that is pretty nasty there for the Americans. That is 2 light tanks gone. Good progress for the German army. No tech yet, and Guard still remains without a doctrine. At 40 out there for Guard, 2707, and the Panzer Division. More Jaegers for... more Rangers for Jaeger, not more Jaegers for Ranger. Other way around. That's only a rather heavy amount of Rangers. Not something you see a lot. Mostly because most players, I think, are quite satisfied just with having a bunch of riflemen. But, you know, a bunch of Rangers can be quite effective. And, of course, in theory, one or two could also just, you know, go for triple bazookas if necessary. Though right now, their biggest threat is a 2-2-2, and going triple Ranger bazookas to kill that might be considered a bit of an overreaction by some. Might. Troops are hanging about. Jaeger command squad there, hiding out, ready to ambush any armies. Take up there. As for Guard, nothing further happening there still. Still no sign of doctrine. Oh, we got Metnigi there for Muno, very good. Jaeger not quite there, though he probably should consider taking up soon as well. The faster they can be pushing out tanks versus the Germans, the better. They could also maybe consider fuel cache to support each other with fuel, and that way sort of assist with the acquisition of more armor. It is interesting to note that again he's popped in the airdrop combat group, but so far we're not seeing the pack howitzer. Oh, it's might be because he kind of dropped it, then it's kind of stuck. Maybe, I don't know, but you know, if he can get into the front line, he should, or you know, within range of the front line. Obviously, if he drove it straight to the front line, that'd be a bit daft. Fuzziteufel there going for a munitions cache, and Chaucer, you'd figure fuel cache in particular, considering everything else, but he decided on it. Probably to support himself with the long-term munitions for his abilities, since Jaeger Infantry is a very munitions-intensive doctrine. Even after they add in the Jaeger Command Squad as a manpower unit, it is still one of the more munitions-intensive on that doctrine, so it makes sense. Plus, I mean, it does allow him to use munitions on other stuff, like upgrades, so it has a lot of utility there overall. Then rather than flanking MU-14s to get out, they're going to do what they can. Mortar firing away there still. We got close to 82 on that. Nice and rifle squad wrapped up, bit of blow there to Jaeger. Now I can move to the 6 kill of 82, very good there by Muno. Very good. A bit of lack there, smoke now by Muno. Had a few early good moves there, but it does seem to be slightly regressing in some ways, perhaps. Can build this upon, of course isn't, and we also finally got to take up there for Guard 2707. Grierson's there getting hosed with ultra cannon fire. We got a 251 half-track out here for Fuzziteufel and the Panzer Division. Fun fact about the Panzer Division, it was actually one of the very, very few Panzer Divisions to actually be fully equipped with armoured half-tracks for each of its infantry battalions, or Panzer Grenadier battalions. Normally it would only be like, you know, the 1st battalion that would sort of be equipped with it, and then the rest would just be trucks, or worst case scenarios worse, like bicycles or cars. But the Panzer Division was one of the very few divisions where each Panzer Grenadier battalion was fully equipped with armoured half-tracks. They then proceeded to lose most of them to an air raid because the commander didn't take the enemy air superiority seriously, if I remember correctly, but you know. There's a little note there. All the way, the 250 on half time moving ahead here. Support McCop as well, very good. You can reinforce the mortar, and probably should do that. Otherwise, I'd recommend getting a bit of support edge for the infantry. We got another airdrop combat group that from Muno. Jaegers coming to the Sherman, very good, but would have figured Muno would have gone for a Sherman by now, but again, another airdrop combat group. We got the pack out of that action, so you could get it to the front line, or again, relatively within range to the front line. So good work there by Muno. Going to be a problem there for the Germans. Got more grenadiers there for Guard. Still hasn't chosen doctrine. He has ticked up, but I still feel like he could benefit from some Panzer grenadiers as well. We got Fuzziteufel attacking northwards. He could try and set up for a flank get behind Muno's force here. I mean, he could hit the pack cards and the likes. So they could do some heavy damage. Half track still. Oh, there he goes, reinforcing the mortar now. Good, good. Oh, good, good. As the Germans would say. One grenadier squad equipped with the G44 or the Gewehr 43. Nothing further going on there. More barbed wire. He's been wiring a lot up here, Mr. Fuzziteufel or Herr Fuzziteufel. Orangus and watch there with the Thompsons, and the one guy who doesn't get the Thompson because he doesn't know how to handle it, so he gets a carbine instead. Two Thumbs Carl, as they call him. Two Thumbs Carl. Don't know why though. Every man has two thumbs. Yeah, command squad they're hitting back some of the troops there. Bit of a standoff between the two sides. Half tracking to move again here for Fuzziteufel and the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision. Then his advancement light machine G for the Feast. Panzer is backing up as well there. Half tech can translate close. I mean, you can sort of gain some experience. You can eventually reinforce him further and further away. I mean, you can mostly support and advance without your hand against a line of fire. Troops moving up, allowing the Panzers to sprint forwards. Not entirely sure that was intention, in which case, thumbs up to Guard if it was. If not, I mean, you know, nice, but I can't really give a thumbs up to something like, you know, he just sort of accidentally did a good thing. It feels a bit weird. Anyways, machine gun bunker being flankly trusted up. We got a Stuhlgun knife for Fuzziteufel. Two thumbs up to Fuzziteufel. Guard still without a doctrine. He's going straight for tier 4, not shabby. Bunker down. In this case, double pack houses in the mortar means any bunkers are not going to last frightfully long. Got a mortar later for Guard. Beacon being thrown right under the Germans' noses as the Germans are shooting straight at them. Machine gun opening up, they're hosing down as many troops. Got double paratroopers with double light machine guns. Machine gun is trying its best here, but it's going to be a struggle. If you can, incendiary armor piercing will have to be a good thing to pop in here, but with the double pack houses nearby, it could still prove to be a really bad idea. In fact, he has to retreat the machine gun now. Mortar out there for Guard, still no doctrine. Paratroopers just keep reinforcing, and he's just using the beacon there to allow his troops to reinforce the front line. I mean, that's bold, and again, he doesn't get punished for it because, I mean, the beacon is absolutely free to throw down, so it's actually some very interesting plays that Muno is making. I mean, you've rarely seen an American play like that. I mean, I'd give him, like, you know, so far a quarter-day rating on some of the American player scale. And he's definitely making some good American moves, so they could stand to flank a bit more. Jackson away there for Muno. Push for here, Panzerjägers plus regular command squad. Of course, got the Stug here, the Stug 3 Ausführung G. Could stand to head of the Pinamont machine gun. Hey, Panzer got there for Guard, who still hasn't chosen a doctrine. I mean, we're approaching the 20-minute mark, and Guard still remains a bit without a doctrine there. Lieutenant routed, Jackson almost down, Stug there, opening up on the Sherman. Got the bulldozer blades there to make it a bit tough, and of course allowed to create barriers, though. Unless Jaeger is in fact Dave in disguise, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure I think Dave is the only player I've ever seen use it. Oh, maybe von Ivan. He could pull that one too. But yeah, I don't think anyone else could even remotely consider it. And there you go, M36 Jackson tank destroyer out there for Muno and the 3rd Armored Division. Stug there hanging back. He could have, I mean, he could easily push forwards in this regard. Fuzziteufel, I think, is needs to pay a bit more attention. Oh, retreats. He could have reinforced them and just healed them up with something else, I feel like, but oh well. Another mortar there for Fuzziteufel, meaning the Germans can have 3 mortars in total. Or 3 Granatenwerfers, whereas the Americans numerous pack houses and a mortar. Comparatively, though, Jaeger has yet to go for the armed artillery, but I'm kind of expecting here Calliope to do that job, and the two finally bites the dust, having been subjected to enough American firepower to, you know, make it reconsider existing. Machine gun quick router there under the fit of artillery, and of course This was the INR Pathfinder artillery barrage, which, while costing a bit, is also probably the fastest reacting artillery barrage. Although, I mean, in Company's history, it's sort of roughly on the level of like the typical American artillery barrage back in Company's 1 Infantry Doctrine, which was also really fast. Probably a bit faster than that, but not a lot faster. Like, Company's 1 artillery call-in abilities were usually incredibly fast, whereas a lot of the ones coming to attack tend to be incredibly slow. And only a few ones being reasonably fast. But there you go. We got here some armor out. We got the Sturmpanzer out. There's a lot of infantry there, support weapons, but I feel like a Panther would be a nicer choice. And Guard still hasn't chosen a doctrine. I mean, at this point, JäegerQhunter seems more likely. German infantry could be an idea. And Encirclement, I guess. I mean, I'd love to see it. I mean, a close to the pocket cut through would be really nice. In particular, since none of the American players apparently even consider that one to be like, if you know they hit these 2 cut-off points, pop close the pocket. I mean, they've really built up a very, very nice pocket for the Germans to create. Very nice. I mean, this is almost fait accompli, like, you know, message from the gods. God, you must crush all of these Americans. But answer your chosen people, or whatever they like to say. No, I don't really like anyone. I just like seeing you guys crush each other in spectacular ways. So close the pocket. Give me a great show. Anyways, after that, try and provide support. Not a bad idea in this case. It can't really reconstitute squads if they get utterly annihilated by Calliope. So what is it going to be, Guard? Is it going to be one hell of a show? A nice show, or I don't know, a Mickey Mouse show? Gunners are getting hosed down by the paratroopers. And the 50 caliber doing the suppressions, like wondering, did he have a 50 caliber? Someone out overlooked and just looked at the paratroopers instead. Of course, apparently one a bit of a putz. Stu being fixed up there, half-tack holding back for now. I'm surprised there's nothing happening. I mean, this is a really missed opportunity to just hit the American fuel points, and again, they could do more stuff there. Guard still without a doctrine. I really would like to see a doctrine here from Guard. Panther would also be nice. And Fuzziteufel, I think, could easily benefit from a couple of more Sturmgeschütz. Sturmpanzer landing some nice hits. No take up. Seems like Fuzziteufel's strategy has slightly stalled here. There you go. Excellent hit. The paratroops almost taken out there with the Sturmpanzer. Pack 4 landing nicely on the Jackson, taken down to less than half health. Sturmpanzer with a damaged engine. Raffner getting obliterated by the Sturmpanzer force. 150 mm howitzers. Jackson there, they're going for a kill on the Sturmpanzer. Paratroop's almost down. He's going to lose that Sturmpanzer with the Jackson tank destroyer. Bunker down somewhere. We've got cluster bombs unleashed here upon the heads of the German army. Stu charging in there, but goes in a bit too deep. There goes in a bit too deep. Allows himself to get outflanked here by the Jackson. Bit of a rookie mistake, that would say, by Fuzziteufel. Oh, no, man, he lost. He can Panzerfaust take out the Jackson. Looks like he's... Oh, there you go. Panzerfaust off. Still losing the Stu like that. Could have been avoided. Could have been avoided. I guess it could have been a pathing issue. They just got to move too far ahead. That can happen. So not fun. It does have more pioneers there for Guard. Fuzziteufel there, plenty of resources floating. I'm not entirely sure what Fuzziteufel's plan is at the moment. They definitely should be going for more armor, or at least take up for some bigger armor. Sturmpanzer again for Guard. I don't know. I feel like you might want to take the armor fleet a bit more seriously than just hang one pat that can be obliterated by all of the American artillery. Gunners moving in, Rages charging forward over the Thompsons. 6 and 2 kills. Sturmpanzer halfway done. Troops are healing and forcing. Mortar rain down. Half track hanging back. I'm still surprised there's nothing happening here. This definitely is a massive oversight there from Fuzziteufel. I mean, it's free real estate. Come on. Rangers charging forward, see it. Pioneers gunners moving up, they're hosing down the Rangers, they're going for the kill here on the Pioneers. Sturmpanzer 4, number 2 almost down there for Guard, 2707. Mortar flank continues to rain down, half taking nearby, Sherman charging forwards. Sturmpanzer out, Heavy Panzer Corps not put up yet there for Fuzziteufel, should be happening soon, and then he should need to get a Panther. And right now the Germans essentially only have a single pack 40 to stop any of the Allied armour, which is less than optimal. Panzerfaust in the Schirm, damaging the engine. Guard still without a doctrine. Slowly approaching the half an hour mark. Still a doctrine is a bit worrying there. As for Muno, more armor would be a good idea. Him, I think more Sherman. Sturmpanzer shoots, hits the trees instead, causing a grievous amount of casualties amongst the local squirrel population, which were attending a squirrel wedding. Neither bride or groom survived the explosion. Sturmpanzer need repairs there, badly. Situation with the German is looking a bit rough, and partly because they keep attacking head on rather than trying to flank and outmaneuver. I mean, at this point, close the pocket is starting to look like an absolutely amazing idea, not just because it looks great and, you know, feels great, but, you know, in this case it would be great. I mean, the Allies' cut-off points are utterly exposed. They've clustered themselves so deep together, like they're just begging to be closed. The pocket on, like they're just begging it. They really want it to happen. Mortar warmed up, better lost there for Fuzziteufel. Sturmpanzer marching straight on into the Jackson's line of fire, getting good hit in the paratroopers. Come on, guard. Pick encirclement. Pick encirclement. You know you want to. Do it. Follow the voices in your head for once. Do it. Germany commands you, guard. God commands you. I command you. And I'm certainly a higher authority than both of those. Anyways, Panther on the way there for Fuzziteufel. Gunners with ambush camouflage appearing here. Pioneers moving forwards. Grenades being unleashed there. German infantry dodges it. Going to be on the way there, plus a 222. That's an interesting pick here. I mean, theoretically, could charge in the 2-2, use breakthrough to quickly cut off a bunch of points and then close the pocket. I mean, that's what I'd do in some of these cases. I'm probably like one of the foremost authorities on encirclement doctrine usage. We'll ever see there. I mean, if like there's any great time for it, it would be now. I mean, again, the Americans just like they more or less just almost practically telling the Germans to do it. Just blow us up, please, dear German players. Blow us up. Annihilate us. Just moving ahead here. Oh dear, we're actually going to see an encirclement doctrine with an absolutely brutal close the pocket on the Propagandacast. And it's not me playing. Oh my. Panther moving up, the infantry charging 48 command squad going in here. Pushing up on Jaeger's flank here. Is this an opening to create an opening for the two to do the job here, to do the deed? Sturmpanzer 40. What's going on here? Is this a distraction? This is just another pointless assault. Because if it's a distraction, it makes sense to tie down the forces so they don't know what's going on until it's too late. Up north, though, Fuzziteuffel's assault's going a bit poorly. Cluster bombs being called in as a disrupt Guards forces. There you go. Mostly blowing apart buildings, pack crew, and possibly a few squirrels that survived the first bombardment in the trees. Jaeger goes GG. Guess he's lost all hope. Or again, they're about to unleash their master stroke. Pulling off some psychological warfare there. That is pretty cheeky to call GG like that. And it's usually considered incredibly rude. Jackson about to get destroyed. He's on emancipate into the base. Guard still without a doctrine. Come on, guard. Pick a doctrine. The suspense is killing me. We got the guy Club out there for Jaeger. Jackson on the way there for Muno. Jackson finally exploded. Moving away here. More pioneers for guard. We got 203 versus 348. Panther charging in there. What is Fuzziteufel doing? Is he just giving up there? 2-2 on the move. Is it going to happen? Are we going to see an encirclement doctrine? Close the pocket deal. Come on, guard. Do it. Do it. Panther going straight in for the Calliope. Getting flanked in with the Jackson tank destroyer. Infantry tank forwards here. Grenadiers. Oh, almost getting wiped out with the pack howitzer. 30 minutes of the game and Guard still hasn't chosen a doctrine. Come on, man. You could easily benefit a lot more from an early storm through all that and just anything there really. So come on, Guard. Go for it. Pull the trigger. Do it. Jackson running there for Muno. Yeah, command squad there being assaulted. 297 points left. The Germans are very much in the back foot here. Guard needs to make a decision. He needs to make a decision. Needs to make a move. Come on, Guard. Just pick something. Do it. I mean, road to Kharkov is probably one of the maps we can sort of work out as long as your opponent doesn't build fuel caches. Again, fuel caches are pretty much like the massive counter to close the pocket. But again, they haven't built any fuel caches, no munitions caches. Like, the cut-off points are completely exposed. I mean, plus the way the map is set up with the points of this map is just perfect for it. So, like, just do it, Guard. But it seems like he's just dithering about with this. Is he just unsure about it? Doesn't he want to do it? Like, what's going on here? I don't know. Okay, the 2 points are quite exposed. And again, the Americans just keep seemingly just lining up for it. Yeah, command squad should get another shoot on the way for Fuzziteufel. Thumbs up. Yeah, command squad taking hit the Panther moving in, backed up by some pioneers in the south here. Guard is not making much progress there with the Sturmpanzer. Great versus infantry, but not great versus all the tank missiles and tanks the Americans have lined up. Shooting northwards again, 4 kills versus 1. 203 versus 225, pack 40 away for Guard. 2-2 going in. Is this gonna be it? Will this be it? No. No. Another pack 40 there for Guard 2707 and the German army, the Panzer to be short. Sturmpanzer taking a nasty hit. Panther, Stug moving ahead here, heavily damaged Panther. German situation remains ever desperate. 203 versus 212, 11. Sturmpanzer need repairs. 2 just hanging back there. Oh, we got it, we got it! It's go time, it's go time! Encirclement! Close the pocket, breakthrough! Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, this is a beautiful one. The Americans are just... I can't cover it all, damn it! Units annihilated! Oh, it's total destruction, carnage! I love this ability. It is the best thing in the world. It is the most pure thing Relic have ever designed. Oh. Always worth it. Always. It is the peak of game design. That is close the pocket. And again, like, it has counters. Like, if you know it's coming, you can prepare for it. Yeah, it's just like, what? What just happened? I had an army, I have nothing now. What happened? And Muno's just left. I mean, this is what a well-executed close the pocket can do. It can just utterly devastate your opponents. I love it. Again, best thing ever. Best thing ever. Every close the pocket is like Christmas, as far as I'm concerned. Every close the pocket is like Christmas. He doesn't know what's going on at all. An absolutely most amazing ability ever designed. Again, easily countered if you know it's coming, but if you don't, it can completely wreck you. Exactly like God intended. There we go. GG, game over. Absolute silliness there to a degree. Yeah, close the part again. Very powerful ability. If you have absolutely no idea it exists and you're not ready for it. I mean, again though, but if you see an opponent with Encirclement Doctrine, always assume they're going to try and close the pocket. You want caches on your carve point and you want to protect those carve points. Again, if they try and clear out the caches, you immediately begin rebuilding, you like mine up or whatever. But again, if you don't do that and your opponent just goes in and pulls that off, you're usually in trouble. But again, part of it's all just road to Kharkov. It has, like, the way the cutoff points are set off, it can actually cut off a lot of territory very fast. You saw that, like, it pretty much just left them completely open for a close to pocket, even units up here, which is perfect. So, yeah. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this match just as much as I did casting it. In particular, that close the pocket. Again, it was a bit frustrating to see the guard did about with it, but in the end, it was beautiful. It was perfect. It was the best thing ever today. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. You don't want them to know about close the pocket. You want to keep it all to yourself until you do it. And then you crush them. So yeah, hope you did it. And of course, big thanks to Dion for donating and supporting the Propagandacast. Big thanks to you. You're part of my company, heroes. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. You all leave one for audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.